Welcome to Audience First, a podcast for tech marketers looking to break out of the echo chamber, to better understand their buyers, what motivates them, and what they hate that vendors do. It's time to unmute your mic. Are you ready? All right, welcome back to another episode of Audience First. These episodes are starting to get really special because I have amazing folks coming into Hollywood for me to sit down and have a conversation. Today, we have a very special guest, not a stranger to Audience First, a repeat guest, and a great friend. We have James Farrow in the house. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Danny.
How you
I'm
doing?
happy to be here. I'm pretty
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I'm
He's
pretty good.
No stranger at all to Audience First, an advocate of the podcast. Learned a lot of lessons in the last few years.
Mhm.
We're back here in sunny California, and I want to know what's new. What's going on with you? We spoke,
Wow.
3-4 months ago? Something
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
What's been going on?
Well, we have upgraded our product, found what we believe is problem solution fit,
Yeah.
which is new. I mean, we were very close the last time we talked, and
Yeah.
we did a lot of work and talked to a lot of MSPs, and I think we've unlocked Cyft's ability to actually help folks.
Yeah. I love that. We were chatting a little bit before we got into the studio, and I was blown away by how many pivots you've made, and in a good way,
Yeah.
right? I think that's a smart move. Tell me a little bit about, that process,
Mhm.
those phases. What happened in those moments that you felt like, okay, we need to make some changes, and we need to shift our product and maybe even our audience? Like, what? Take me through that.
I think there's many things that happen
Yeah.
for an evolution for a startup, and especially for Cyft. Some of it is what we thought was reality wasn't reality.
Hmm.
Some of it was there's something else we're more excited about, right? Following that feeling of being ecstatic, right? When you're onto something, or you hear a song, or even just writing a LinkedIn post that you're like, dude, this is awesome, right? Like
Yeah.
that feeling, it's following that feeling. And also just talking to a lot of people
Hmm.
and just learning. I think it's a mixture of seeing reality for what it actually is versus what you hope it is or what you think it's going to be, following our excitement and the joy for the work with a capital W,
Yeah.
and then also just talking to a lot of folks and taking in new information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I know at that time you were also trying to raise money, and
Mhm.
I imagine that's a challenge in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Building, becoming a fresh founder,
Yeah.
building a team, building product, raising money. Tell me a little bit about what you learned since the last time we spoke, and how you felt. What's kind of changed on the the team front, and let's drill down into the actual product and the audience. Kind of, where were you then, and then now where are you?
Sure. Well, a lot has changed. We were building a way for MSP account managers to talk to ConnectWise. I was a sales rep.
Yeah.
And I closed a lot of deals. I was actually the top sales rep at one point, and the business had no idea why I closed these deals. They had no idea who I was competing with because I never put any information in the CRM. I'm talking to people. I'm helping them solve their problems. Maybe I can help, maybe I can't, but I'm not a data entry specialist.
Mhm.
And that's part of how Cyft came about was, well, what if I could just talk to Salesforce? and update my deals and get my manager off my back so I can just continue solving problems for the folks that I really want to solve problems for. So initially we were doing that for account managers at MSPs. And we thought, hey, this is the golden ticket, man. You can just talk to ConnectWise, update your deals. And we were doing user interview after user interview, just trying to understand where's the friction, what's your process look like, and try to get into their shoes. One of the user interviews that we did, and you and I were working together on this project, and you were on that call, was with a gentleman named Jeff Newton. Now, this guy gets onto the call, no camera. He's sick, says he's under the weather, and just blew me away with how much thought he's put into the work that he does and the processes and the people behind it. And I remember immediately getting off that call with this no camera, sick guy and calling Mark LaPointe, my co-founder, and going, this is the dude. Yeah. We need Jeff in whatever capacity we can get him. Yeah. And so I reached out to Jeff and was like, hey, can I just buy a block of hours for consulting? Yeah. And he goes, yeah, sure. He's already doing some consulting work. We started to develop a relationship, and then we brought him on as an advisor. And then he had some serendipitous moments in his own professional life that freed him up. And he joined Cyft as a full-time co-founder. Yeah. And so that was the massive unlock from, I think we talked back in April. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And to now was bringing 18 years of MSP scar tissue onto the founding team has just rocket shipped everything that we're doing. We've changed so much, and we're so much more aligned with the people that we want to serve. And yeah, I mean, it's just been a night and day difference from when we talked back in April. Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that call vividly because he was so sick. I mean, this guy was, nasally, coughing, but it was one of our best interviews that we did with anyone. I mean, we had a lot of great sessions, but he really dug in deep and really gave a lot of, to your point, anecdotes from the scar tissue that was developed over the years.
You could tell he had thought about this. Right. This wasn't, my questions I was asking wasn't the first time that he had thought about it. Yeah. And I think that was like so apparent right when we got on that call. He had spent 18 years thinking about this problem and how to solve it.
Thinking and feeling the problem. Yeah. So let's be real. Probably that's why he was sick at that moment. But, just going back to that experience, and for the audience here, you and I worked on some qualitative interviews. You wanted to validate a little bit the need in the market, in the MSP space. And so we reached out to, small and mid-sized MSPs to have that discussion, understand their pains, understand the solutions they're using right now. What are the gaps? What are the decision criteria and the triggers to evaluate solutions? And I just found it mind-blowing that from that conversation, you brought on a co-founder. Like, the value of research, the value of talking to people is so high. And it's just like I said then, when you told me, oh, by the way, Jeff is now part of the team, my mind was blown out. Yeah. It was like an LFG moment. I was like, yes. Yeah. And I'm bummed he couldn't be here today. He was supposed to be here, but he had to be back home next time. Yeah. Next time we'll do Jeff another one, probably in another 3-4 months. When you guys have your first million or 2 million.
Yeah.
2 million.
You hear that? Sign up.
Yes, 100%. You guys still owe me a beer. But it's just fabulous to see the progress. And, again, like we were sitting earlier before, I just, I admire the fact that you are able to pivot, or you're able to really deeply listen and change things. And that's huge. That's risky and it's scary, I imagine, too, because, you did raise some money, right? You have to, answer for the numbers. You have to sell. You have to bring in money. You have to pay your team. And to make those drastic changes, like 180, sometimes even 360 again, changes to something completely different is scary. And so that's pretty cool. But take me back a little bit. Before you were focusing on the MSP space, you wanted to do something at the beginning, which is around the MDR space. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what happened, because I want to go through the full transformation here. So started MDR. What was that about?
Yeah. So I started off as an account executive at Arctic Wolf.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, employee 300 or so, and learned a lot about the MDR space. And first learned how to sell MDR
Yeah.
to IT managers, IT directors, CTOs, CISOs, right?
Mm-hmm.
But from there, I matured as a seller and learned, well, how do they actually want to buy, right? And that was the big unlock. Was first I learned just how do you cram a solution down someone's throat, and then matured into how do I actually help solve problems? What does their day-to-day look like? And it was that where I realized that the way that people sell cybersecurity solutions is totally opposed to the way people actually want to buy cybersecurity solutions.
Right.
And this is back in probably 2021, 2022, when I was really thinking about that challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to create a way for buyers to buy managed detection and response in the way they actually want to, without talking to a sales rep, get all the information that they could need.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed to collect all of the data from these MDR vendors, which I started doing. And then I needed to interview a lot of IT managers and IT directors and CTOs and CISOs on how do you actually want to buy?
Mm-hmm.
And then blend those two things together in a platform. So, for example, you might say, hey, I want to look at Rapid7 and I want to look at Arctic Wolf side by side, but I want to see how they map to CMMC compliance because I work with the DoD.
Mm-hmm.
So I built a platform and a way for them to compare multiple vendors against their compliance requirements, to upload their own RFP and instantly see how vendors match. And it scored it like, hey, they're like 86%. And we used LLMs and AI to articulate how the vendor solution maps to their specific scenario.
Right.
So it's really awesome. And the folks that we talked to loved it. The vendors, so they wanted to see that we had, enough of an audience for them to
Yeah.
really get interested. But what we realized is like a two-sided marketplace is really tough.
Yep.
It's so expensive. There's chicken and the egg. You have two ICPs, two target markets. You're
Yep.
trying to grow both these things. It was just me and Mark Lapointe at the time. And he's a product guy. I'm a sales guy. And so we were kind of figuring it out. And we realized like, hey, this is just not what we should be doing.
Yep.
Like we know it's awesome.
Yeah.
But like we weren't the ones to do this, like to bring this to market.
Yeah.
Just we lost that feeling of being ecstatic
Okay.
about it.
Yeah.
Where we're like, this isn't us.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't personally identify with what we were building. And so we were searching for a different way to help folks along that same path, which is like, how do we help people buy the way they want to buy, which is what we really loved.
Yeah.
And part of that was like finding a different entry point into the market and working with value-added resellers and MSPs, because we figured, hey, if we can help them sell in the way that people actually want to buy, we can reach the most amount of IT buyers through them, right? So that's kind of how we set our sights more on working with MSPs and value-added resellers, and why we were focused on the sales side, because we're like, hey, if we can restructure and rethink how account managers and MSPs and VARs go to market and how they actually present products, that would really help all of these boots on the ground IT folk buy how they want to buy.
That's interesting. So I don't know, is that total addressable market larger than the previous, the MDR? I mean, I imagine it is. So you went from like one very small niche to a little bit of a larger niche.
And then even larger.
Yeah.
Still going.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know, how do you move successfully? Because I have a very, very targeted niche, cybersecurity marketers and sellers. That's very, very tight niche. I'm curious to expand actually that niche and go even further out into other tech, other tech companies.
What's stopping you?
So how do I go broader? I'm so comfortable in my niche, right? And I know it so well, and I'm like there. How do I tap into a new one, or how do I expand a little bit? There's the problem. People have the problem of how do I niche down, but I'm like, how do I go even farther out?
Yeah.
What's your recommendation for me? Like if I want to go out right now and, talk to other tech marketers, because this is essentially a tech marketing and sales show. I'd love to know what's your recommendation for me, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we always start with why.
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to do it in the first place, right? And then from there, I mean, just do it. I mean, the risk, the way that I always look at weighing these sorts of things is I'm going to lose a portion of my previous audience regardless if
Mhm.
I do anything different at all.
Yep.
But I know I want to be able to do
That's my
different things.
fear.
And
That's
so
my
it's
fear
it's
there.
weighing, well, if I lose easy numbers, if I lose 100 people to gain 1,000 new ones, like
Mhm.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Right? And so anything that you do with brand is always going to be weighing the loss versus the gain. But
Yeah.
there's always going to be a loss no matter what you do.
Mhm.
And so it's being real with yourself of like, hey, am I okay losing a portion of this audience that has just like supported me for so long and loves what I do
Yeah.
in order to help more people?
Mhm.
And like for me, the answer is always yes. I'm always
Yeah.
looking to grow, right? But that's how I look at it. It makes it super simple for me.
Yeah, I guess I'm in my way, right? Like I'm always focused on, giving the best and giving the value to the people that I care about. And I care about a
Mhm.
lot of people even beyond the niche that I've, built.
You got to
But
do the thing that makes you the
but
most excited.
yeah.
Like I
And
don't know, so many people are like trying to build based on best practices
yeah.
and methodologies, and like everything we do is unique to us.
Mhm.
And because it's unique to us, that makes it art. And because it's art, that means you should do what you want and the thing that excites you and not be so concerned with how the audience is going to receive it. And if you make a song, let's say in the studio, and you're making it to cater to some specific audience, like that takes so much away from
Mhm.
you as an artist. You're not telling your story.
Yeah. Yeah, so profound. I mean, you're dropping truth bombs even offline and on camera. I love it.
Yeah.
That's helpful. Yeah, I got to get out of my way. I tell people it's easy to tell people, right?
Yeah.
Stop with imposter syndrome, but I struggle with it all the time,
Mhm.
right? But yeah, there are going to be some new shifts with audience first and coming up,
Yeah.
and we're going to expand to more tech communities and tech
Yeah.
communities.
And the product you're gonna put out is always gonna be 10 times better if you're stoked about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, and if you're stoked about expanding, like that's gonna come across in what you
Yeah,
make. That's gonna come across in the ideas that come into your head when you're trying to fall asleep and you wake up and you're just so jazzed up about something and you're like, holy crap, like this is such an unlock moment. Like that
yeah.
comes from pursuing the things that actually give you energy.
I you
That I
know
mean, go, man. Like
I feel your energy now. So you woke up this morning. What got you jazzed apart from coming to sit down here with me? But like, what got you jazzed this morning, waking up, thinking about Cyft and where you guys are going?
You know, this morning I didn't wake up thinking about Cyft at all.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I have you guys can't see her, but I have Kira, my girlfriend, sitting on the couch over there. And I mean, I wake up and I look over at her and that's, what I got excited about this
Oh,
morning.
precious.
Yeah, I'm very present. Or try to be.
Yes.
Especially when we're traveling and things like that.
Yeah.
But at home, I mean, I wake up, I get after it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fired up.
So I'm gonna. This is a question out of left field, but it's so relevant for us entrepreneurs. Our
Mhm.
partners. Today is my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, baby.
Mhm.
She's gonna kill me for saying this. It was Kira's birthday on Monday,
It
and this
was,
is
yeah.
why Kira is in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
You guys are making a trip out of this, which is awesome.
Mhm.
How has it been to hustle and grind building a
Mhm.
company? How's it been, at home? And how has
Mhm.
Kira helped you be who you are? Because I know, again, my wife's gonna kill me for this, but she sacrificed a lot. My wife,
Mhm.
a lot of late nights, right? And a lot of the design and the creative ideas come from her, believe it or not. How has Kira been a support system for you?
Yeah, it's been a massive unlock moment.
Yeah.
Um, I think number one, it's recognizing that being with me is different than being with someone else.
Yeah.
And like everyone can say that, but it's unique to founders and entrepreneurs. We're always on, right?
Yes.
There's always
Thank you.
something going in the back of
Thank you
my
for the
mind. I'm
validation.
solving a problem, right? And like, I mean, Kira and I talk about this. She's like, sometimes I can look at you and you're talking to me, but I can see your wheels are spinning, right? And I'm
Yeah.
probably like calculating total addressable market or some
Yeah.
bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Um, but it's we kind of have two really big blocks, and one is like long-term vision,
Mhm.
right? And then the other is the day overday enjoyment, the stop and smell the flowers kind of moments, right?
Mhm.
And I think Kira brings so much of that to my life, this softness that I didn't have previously.
Mhm.
And it's made my decision making so much more effective.
Yeah.
I mean, I eat healthier, I'm
Aw.
getting better sleep.
Right on.
It's a lot of sorry, I get a little bit emotional.
That's
Sorry.
good. This is part of the podcast. We get emotional and we drop F-bombs and we cry.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It's just such a special, it's just such a special relationship when you have
Yeah.
a partner that actually understands
Yeah.
that,
agree.
like, man, like my mind doesn't shut off
Mhm.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And like she does all of the things that she can do to help me relax
Mhm.
and wind down and create a space for me to be high octane.
Yeah.
Like to stay up late. I mean, the amount of time she's gone to bed by herself because I'm up working on something, it's like, but she does it with a smile and
Yeah.
with so much grace. And I love her a lot.
I love that. That, now I'm gonna get all emotional because it's like the same.
Yeah.
So much sacrifice from our partners, and so this is
Mhm.
kind of a shout out to them.
Yeah.
And it's great to have you here, Kira. Thank you for coming. Um, you know, I want to talk about where you were working at Arctic Wolf and
Sure.
where you are now. Kind of, you seem alive now.
Mhm.
When we met, I think you were still no, you were at Adluin,
Yeah.
right?
I was following you when I was at Arctic Wolf. That's for
Okay, all
sure.
right. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't know if that we met when you were at Arctic Wolf, but
Mhm.
you were still in a sales position.
Mhm.
Can you tell me a little bit about how life's changed? How do you feel now versus when you were, grinding and doing things maybe that weren't intuitive to you and maybe didn't
Mhm.
align with your mission?
I think I look back on those years, like how easy was my life because what we're doing now is so all consuming,
Mhm.
right? It matters to me so much more than what I was doing before. And so I'd look back on those like, what an easy gig that was.
Mhm.
Talk to people and help them solve problems. Like amazing. So simple. And I think it taught me a lot though of how to listen,
Mhm.
how to empathize, how to understand if you actually can help someone, and if you can't, being okay with saying that you can't.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I learned a lot, but I just feel like a completely different person working on Cyft than I was when I was working for someone else that was telling me how to do my job or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like such a small game to play versus what we're doing now. Like what we're doing now feels like we have a chance to impact so many people in a positive way.
Mhm.
And so I think that's the biggest difference is the scale at which we're operating.
It's clear you've grown these past few years since you've worked in-house as a sales pro and now you have your own company and you're grinding, hustling, building something of your own with passion.
Mhm.
What are some mental models that you kind of stick to really grow as a human being, but also as an entrepreneur and a professional?
I love mental models, by the way.
Yes.
One of them is first principles.
Mhm.
I love starting with first principles. Like
Take me through that.
it's essentially like a way to get to first principles is Socratic questioning.
Mhm.
You have a daughter.
Yes.
Has she gone through the why phase?
Oh, yeah, we're in it now.
Yeah,
100%.
right. That's essentially an exercise to get to first principles.
Mm,
Like, well, why?
yeah.
Why again? Why again? Why again? Why again? Why again?
Mm.
Until you kind of get to the core.
Mhm.
And first principles aren't necessarily like laws of nature, but you can get to first principles for all these different things in a business or in life. And for example, we had so much demand for Cyft after bringing on Jeff and pivoting our product more towards operations. The demand was just unexpected.
Yeah.
And so we knew we had to build some form of self onboarding for customers because we just didn't have enough hours in the day to onboard all of these customers.
Mhm.
So we look at self onboarding and we go, well, what are the first principles here? Before we start designing and working on it, like what are the key things that actually need to exist in order for this to be considered self onboarding for us? So we get on the whiteboard and we go through that exact exercise. Like, well, why do we need this? Well, why do we need that? Why do we need that? Why do we need that? Until it's like 2 or 3 things. And we're like, okay, as long as it has these 3 elements, then we know we have some form of self-onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why first principles are so important, because it adds so much clarity. And then we move to, I guess I don't know the exact word, but essentially it's like, what problems is our solution causing? And going down that rabbit hole of like, now that we have self-onboarding, well, what are going to be the problems that now we're facing because we solved this problem?
Yeah.
And we look at the same way when we build Cyft. It's like, well, now techs or technicians at an MSP can just talk to ConnectWise and create a ticket with their voice in 40 seconds. It's like, well, what's the problem now? Like, what problem did we just cause? Right? And so if we just had, you could just mind dump data into ConnectWise, well, now you have a data problem, because now you're getting way more data. It's all unstructured, and it's going to create bloat in your system. So we realized, well, we need to have those mind dumps structured, all in the same format. So every single technician that speaks a ticket entry or a time entry into ConnectWise, it comes in structured the exact same way. We're like, well, then now what problem do we have? Right? And we just keep going down that rabbit hole. And it's what makes us not something that's just going to sit on the shelf.
Right.
Because we're not just something you plug in and it just solves the surface level problem. We go down the rabbit hole, man, like as deep as we can go. And we're still going to figure out what problems are we causing by solving the previous problem.
Yeah.
So those are all like 2 different mental models that we use, and we use a lot.
Yeah.
Inversion thinking is another one. Like, what if the opposite was true? Right.
So I got some homework to do. I'm going to start checking this stuff.
Yeah. No, they're awesome exercises, and I have a team around me that thinks the same way I do.
Yeah.
That appreciates mental models and appreciates the flexibility psychologically to be able to mold and work on a problem together, you know? And so when we get to like inversion thinking, we're like, we think this is a great idea. What if we did the complete opposite? And then like, let's flush that out all the way. And what problems would that cause?
Yeah.
And like, to have a team that also does that is so awesome.
So you mentioned that, you brought on some new folks to the team. You got Jeff who's on, Brandon out here in LA, you said.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about how the team's grown since we last spoke.
Yeah. So we brought on our new co-founder, Jeff Newton, 18 years of MSP experience. He has absolutely changed the game for Cyft in so many different ways. We have Brandon Polizuk. Brandon is the head of content at a company called Iconic.
He sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Did we cross paths?
Maybe. I think
I have
maybe.
to check him out.
Yeah.
His last name sounds familiar.
Yeah. Brandon's phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's so good. And so the things he's working on now are getting us content ready.
Yeah.
To really kind of turn it on and tell our story in ways that it's fun and engaging. We have Fernanda, who is a UX UI designer, where she's taken this clunky ass looking product that works, like it all worked, but it just wasn't beautiful.
Yeah.
And she's making it gorgeous and fun to use. And then Mark and Cole, my 2 co-founders, original co-founders. Mark kind of is a glue guy. He does everything under the sun, from coding product to doing our books, accounting, working with our legal team. I mean, Mark is just like the reason that the ship keeps going forwards. And then Cole is a hardcore software engineer, just heads down, making things happen that I just couldn't imagine, or I imagine them and then he makes them happen. It's really incredible.
That's awesome.
So we got a super strong team that all is rowing in the same direction.
That's incredible. I mean, congratulations to you. I mean,
thank you.
That's massive growth on all fronts since we last talked in April. Now, when I looked at the new website, which also is incredible, looks really slick. It mentioned that you guys are focused on, ConnectWise.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys, work with Salesforce and other kind of systems as well? Or is it just strictly right now ConnectWise and looking at potential?
Yeah, that's a great question. And we went through many mental models to make that decision. We only work with ConnectWise today. And the next PSA we'll work with will be Autotask.
Autotask.
Yeah, that'll be the next one.
Mhm.
But that was a difficult decision, hours and hours of deliberation, arguing,
Mhm.
passion involved in that because we all care so much. And what it boiled down to was kind of that example I gave of we're going to cause additional problems. And in order to like solve through the problem, we have to be hyper focused on one platform because they go so in depth that we wouldn't be able to deliver the level of value we've even gotten to now if we were spread thin across Autotask, HubSpot, Salesforce,
Yeah.
ConnectWise, and all these different, Halo PSA,
Yeah.
all these different tools. We would have been a mile wide and an inch deep. And that's how I feel like so many vendors, especially approach the MSP space. They just solve this surface level problem and they don't give a shit that they're causing more problems after that. And we do, and we're different, and we think differently. And for that reason, we're willing to go as deep as we can with ConnectWise before we start expanding, even though that might be better for our bottom line. We have about, I think, 60-something Autotask MSPs on our wait list right now that are just waiting for the integration.
Yeah.
And so you get pressure from investors, right? We get pressure from the market saying, hey, like, do this for Autotask. You're going to miss out on this. It's like, no, man, we're not.
Yeah.
We're going to do this right now. We're going to do it right.
Okay.
And then we're going to expand.
So, before we wrap up, we have just a few more minutes. I wish we had more time, but we have a few more minutes. Pushback from investors. We talked about this time and time again, offline on the podcast as well, appeasing to investor profits. How do you handle that pushback from investors?
I think, I mean, you can learn something from everybody.
Yeah.
But I don't look at investors as gods.
Yeah.
And most investors haven't done a startup.
Yeah.
And no investor in the history of humanity has ever built Cyft. So how the hell could they know, without a shadow of a doubt, what the right decision is for Cyft?
Yeah.
They don't. And I know that to be true.
Yeah.
And so I take in information, and some of it I use and some of it I don't.
Yeah.
But we're making hundreds of decisions based on limited information every single week, every single month. And all we can do is follow what we feel is right for Cyft.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means going against the rules, like breaking the rules sometimes, right? Like the rules guide us to being average, and average is nothing to aspire to. And so sometimes we just say, fuck it.
Yeah.
We're going to just do what we think is cool. And like, that's what gets the team excited. And then when the team's excited, well, now we're building something that like is awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, I take in everything anyone says. I have an open mind and an open heart towards it, and I appreciate it.
I wouldn't say you're the rare one. There are people who take it in. But, I've come across my fair share of founders who are just so blocked and in their way, right? This is the way we want it done. And I admire you for the fact that you take feedback, criticism, constructive criticism, bad, good, what's above, below, in between. And you analyze that, and then you apply what you think needs to be applied. So you mentioned that you work only with ConnectWise, and you're moving on to Autotask eventually. For someone like me, I have services. I'm a very small services company. I'm heading to an event now, and I'm going to be talking to a lot of prospects. What's your advice to me? I don't have ConnectWise. What's your advice to me to get that information into my CRM? My CRM right now is Monday. I have HubSpot, but I also have Monday. What can I use to get that information quickly into my CRM?
What would you do now?
I would probably be typing, probably be going after the conversation like an idiot to the side, blah, 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 this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. And then afterwards, about a week afterwards, going back to all that, processing all that information, segmenting it out, applying, trying to remember what happened. Okay. I also take pictures of tags. I selfie with people so that I remember who they are.
Yeah.
Right. And then plug all that together. So it's a good, maybe 4 or 5 hours of work after the fact, not including all the stuff that I have to do on the sidelines.
So exactly the problem that you're describing is what Cyft solves for account managers at
Well,
MSPs.
come
I
on,
know, it's
man.
amazing. No, they love it. They love it, man, because they go to a ton of events. They're talking to a bunch of people,
Yeah.
and they can pull out their phone and go, "Hey, just met with Danny Wolf. She's thinking about buying new servers in Q3.
Mhm.
Schedule a task to follow up. Also, she really loves whiskey. Remind me to send her a bottle of whiskey and blah, 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 and route it to this person in ConnectWise." And, then you just hit done.
Mhm.
And instead of going back and having to take all your notes, or you wrote it on the back of a business card or whatever, it's literally already in your system, and your tasks for follow-up are already scheduled and are already mapped to that person.
Yeah.
Like, it's mind-blowing, right? And I would have loved that as an AE. But what I would do if I was in your seat as, number one, let me ask, how comfortable are you with AI? And like
Use it every day.
ChatGPT. Okay, perfect.
Use it every day.
Perfect. You're going to love this use case. I would make a custom GPT that produces the output that is super easy for me to copy and paste over into Monday, that has the fields that I want. And then I would do a hacked together version of Cyft where I go to ChatGPT after I talk to somebody, and then I just say, "Hey, met with Danny, blah, 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 blah," everything that you can possibly remember about that conversation. And then because you're using a custom GPT that's programmed with the output that you want, it should then just produce that doc. And so when you get back home, you should have 60 different outputs, and you still have to copy and paste, but they're structured perfectly. And all of your, rambling is condensed down to exactly the output that you would want.
Yes.
I would put that together. I'd build my own little version of Cyft.
Amazing. I have homework to do.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It'll be quick though.
Yeah.
If you are comfortable with like the AI piece, I mean, it'll take you 2 hours to kind of throw it together, but then, dude, it'll save you so much time.
100%. That 2 hours is going to save even future too.
Yeah.
Upcoming stuff happening.
And if you're an MSP and you think that sounded cool, we've already done it for you. Don't worry. Just give us a holler, $99 per user per month. We would love to have you on board.
There you go. And you're already, you're going through changes with the site, with the product and everything, but you have customers onboarded,
Mhm.
you have customers committing.
Oh yeah.
And from my understanding, the time to close is like insanely fast.
Unbelievable. It's actually incredible. I don't know if there's any sellers that are listening to this. This is the easiest thing. I haven't even sold it.
Yeah.
I mean, we have done a little bit of cold outbound.
Yeah.
The MSPs are actually responding to our cold emails, which is just like
What do you think?
mind-blowing.
What do you think is the success factor?
I think it's Jeff Newton for sure. Yeah.
The credibility.
Yeah, he's sat in their seat for 18 years, and
Sure.
he's not an outsider trying to just sell them shit they don't need.
Sure.
Jeff actually understands. He sat in that seat. He's solving the problem he wished someone solved for him.
Right.
And instead of just sitting on the sidelines, he dove in to do it himself.
Yeah.
And I think that resonates with the folks he's reaching out to. And that's why Jeff is only reaching out to people he thinks he can actually help.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why people are responding and saying, "Sure, I'll take a look." And then in 30 minutes, we don't do discovery questions.
Mm-hmm.
There's no interrogation.
Mm-hmm.
We literally get on and say, "Hey, what's a ticket that you would typically have and create a ticket for? What's a problem?"
Mm-hmm.
And then we do a live demo with the problem that they said. They're blown away at what we've built. And then they ask, how do they sign up?
Yep.
It's been mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
Cold email, 30-minute demo, paying customer.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We're on to something. It's crazy.
I love it. I'm obviously an advocate of Cyft, here for you guys whenever you need.
Yeah, for sure.
I love to see how successful you guys are so far.
Mhm.
And that's, because you guys are curious and you are very self-aware as well, which is admirable. Rooting for you, obviously. Where do people go to sign up?
Yeah. You hit our website, www.cyft.ai.
And that's a CYFT.
Yeah.
For those listening in.
CYFT. It's spelled like Lyft, the company, but with a C.
Have you gotten any flack for that from Lyft?
No, it's been good to go.
Good to go.
And for those wondering if none of this made sense, Cyft is kind of like Hey Alexa for ConnectWise.
Okay.
And then we're going to be detecting sales opportunities like Gong when we do the live listening that's coming out. So you won't even have to do the dictation.
That's amazing.
We're going to do an integration with Microsoft Teams and actually be sitting right on the call, create all of your tickets, your time entries, any sales opportunities, all of that'll be automated, and you just speak it, review it, submit it. 3 easy steps.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So cool.
we're pumped.
So cool. What's got you hopeful coming up?
What's got me hopeful? I think just like the last few weeks is just seeing the demand from the MSP market for this thing that we thought was awesome, but you never know until you put it out and let people see it.
Yeah.
And just the reaction of people coming inbound and saying, oh, so-and-so told me about Cyft and told me I needed to check it out. And we're like, this is so cool. People are like telling their friends about it. Like it's everything we could have dreamed of and more. And then we also like know what our roadmap is.
Yeah.
So we're like, dude, people love what we're doing now. Like just wait until we roll out this thing and this thing and this thing. And we're so jacked up about it. And so dude, I'm so excited.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I got my finger on the pulse. I'm checking you guys out all the time. Obviously, you check in literally every few months and come out to hang out in LA. So that's super exciting. You know, as always, this session is bi-directional conversation. So any questions you got for me or anything that you want to kind of jam on, that now's the time. We have about 15 minutes?
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd love to know what you're hoping to get out of Black Hat. Why don't we start there? Because that's going to be big. The family's going.
The family's coming.
Right? How is that going to impact?
How's it going to impact
there?
the time? It's super helpful, to be honest. I kind of know what I mean. Black Hat. It's a week long. If you come, 2 days before, 2 days before the expo, you got B-sides happening. You got DEF CON. So it's a long session. Let's just say that much. In Vegas. I mean, anything beyond 2 days in Las Vegas is years. So knowing that my family is there with me for the week is, comforting. They're not, home alone, and my wife having to deal with the kid and the 3 dogs alone is concerning. It's hard. But if anything, my wife's gonna help out a little bit with some of the side events that we got going on. So with the Cybernest, we have a really cool happy hour coming up. We got about 70 executives coming in into the Venetian. We got an exec dinner for some of our members and some new members that are coming on. So that's going to be fun. It's just going to be great to network. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to meeting some old friends from working in cybersecurity startups, meeting new people. I have a new product coming out, which is a new division of the Cybernest. It's a customer research hub and an expert network so that vendors can basically connect with real cybersecurity practitioners and interview them or work with them, collaborate with them on different kinds of projects they got going on, whether it's a new campaign, a new website. They have to improve their, positioning or messaging, or they want to validate product roadmap, or they want to fix their pitch and their demo. Like, this is the opportunity for them to just tap into our platform and automatically schedule on demand with real buyers, real decision makers in information technology. They don't got to work with me. They can just go directly to the source, and that's what we're building right now, and that's what will be offered to the vendors. So I'm looking forward to getting the validation and showing people the UI and showing them the product, what we have going on. It's exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking, I won't lie, but I have some hefty goals for Black Hat, and I'm going out there, with confidence, and I want to expand collaborations with the community. So, for anyone listening who wants to work with Audience First and who wants to work with the Cybernest, reach out to me. I don't ask this a lot. I generally wait for people to come to me when they're ready. That's my kind of my motto. But I'm still getting used to the fact, it's been 2-3 years, that I'm a salesperson as well, right? I've worked in demand, I've worked in marketing all my life, but I'm starting to ask for commitments now. Be a little bit more aggressive on asking for the commitments. So that's what I'm looking forward to as well, is asking for the money, right? People won't give you money if you don't ask for the money. So That's a lesson learned that I just gotta get used to, right?
Mhm.
When you hear that, what do you think?
Which part?
The fact that I gotta get used to the fact that I'm in sales now and asking for the money.
I think that's very true. I mean, you have to be okay asking, but I guess I'm curious, sitting in your seat, I mean, I have to imagine that you feel like pressure, whether it's from yourself to live up to an expectation that you create for yourself, or your expectation to be able to provide for your family, um, you know, getting over imposter syndrome, like all of these sorts of things. Like, what are you struggling with right now? Like, what's been something that you're just working on or working through, I guess?
Yeah, again, coming to terms with the fact that, um, it's okay to ask people to commit.
Yeah. What do you think
Like,
that block was? What is that?
there's the stigma that like, "Oh, if you're too pushy, then they're gonna ghost you," or something like that. But,
Mhm,
like, I think I've worked really hard to establish credibility and
mhm,
trust. Um, it's still something that I try to, constantly nurture
mhm,
and build. And so I guess I'm still humbled by a lot of the validation that I've gotten and I'm still
mhm,
getting. We talked about this, again downstairs, like walking in San Francisco at RSA, people stopping you in the street. Hey, I love your podcast. I love what you're doing. Like to me, that's just mind blowing. I'm still coming to terms with the fact that like
mhm.
there's so much validation in it, and the stuff that we're talking about and the stuff that I'm putting out resonates.
Do you believe the people who give you those genuine compliments and feedback on how you've impacted them and the value that you've created for them in their life, in their world? Like, is that something that you hear and it's maybe difficult to actually, like, let it resonate, or does it sit with you, or,
It
like, how
sits
does
with
that?
me. It sits with me because people explain the change.
Yeah.
They explain the change. So that's why I'm so like invested in this and double downing on some of the stuff on the podcast, double downing on the podcast for a moment where, for those who know me personally and talk to me on the regular, know this past year was really difficult for me. What with the war going on back in Israel and
Mhm,
like relocating and just, you know, managing your own company and providing for the family, like, it's been a really hard year.
mhm,
There was a moment where I was like, "Oh, well, maybe we put, audience first to bed." But
mm,
then, when people were coming to me and saying, "No, this is helping me. This is changing the way, I'm doing things. This is." I almost left my job, but then I listened and I applied what you were saying, and now it saved my career. Like that those things get me jazzed
mhm,
and gives me the confidence to continue and gives me the validation that this is what I need to be doing.
mhm,
Like this is my calling, as cheesy as it sounds. But still the challenge is, I need to make money. I can give as much, but like as much as I can, but I need to make money, and part of that now is saying yes. Let's do some really cool things together. Like, let's do it. Let's not, fuck around. Like,
mhm,
we can go through calls all day, but commit and let's get you in front of the right people.
mhm,
Let's start applying what we're learning from the connections we're making for you. And let's grow your business sustainably and predictably instead of having you go to, XYZ vendor for, 5-digit programs, which don't, really get you anywhere. Right.
mhm.
So
Have you thought of working with a partner who that's what their strength really is? I mean, like, I
yeah,
brought on co-founders
yeah.
for a reason, right? Like, they can do things that are unnatural for me, not that I'm not capable of, but that they're unnatural for me.
Yeah,
And so to put someone in that seat where, like Mark Lapointe, I would be lost without this
yeah,
fucking guy. I mean, he's just a beautiful human, but he's an integrator,
right.
right? And he can execute day over day on the plans that we have set forth.
Mhm.
And like, if it were 100% up to me, I mean, we'd be whiplashing, building this over here and then doing that and
Yeah,
chasing shiny objects because that's how I think. I'm so inspired. I'm excited.
yeah,
But without Mark, we wouldn't be making that steady progress towards our mission. I'm curious if you've considered working with someone else where they are naturally deal closers.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't fuck around. Let's get to the numbers. Loop me in with your lawyers. Like, let's figure it out. Let's close the deal. And then you can just do the thing you're good at.
I love that you asked that question. Well, okay, I'm gonna break it down into two, the answer into two. So yes, overall, resounding yes. One of the reasons why I partnered with Ben and joined the Cybernest as VP marketing is because our missions are so aligned. You know, he sees things the way that I see things. He understands that community and advocacy and peer shared and peer reviewed and peer rated information is so valuable over third party intermediaries. I was going to do this on my own and it was driving me nuts and I wasn't closing deals as fast as I want. I had a wait list out the wazoo, but nobody wanted to buy. So now, you know, partnering with Ben, having a proprietary product is so much more powerful. That and, you know, we've naturally gotten people coming to us that want to sell this for us. And we're evaluating right now a couple partners who actually are audience first advocates who almost, you know, closed as clients for audience first services, but now they branched off to do things on their own because we're in your shoes as sellers. They're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And so we're talking to a couple folks now who are just jazzed and just waiting to get their hands on it because they already have, you know, a line at the door.
Yeah, for sure.
But I still need to get good at that. And that's, you know, that takes practice, right? I know to extract the research and the insights on how to do things well from a sales perspective because I'm talking to the audience who you want to sell to. I need to apply what I'm preaching, right? and it's hard to do, but I'm working on it, you know, and you got to just practice it. And that's what I'm looking forward to at Black Hat is practicing that and getting good at it and asking, you know, what did I do wrong? Like, what could have been done better? What, you know, I'm still learning and being vulnerable to say, I'm still learning here, you know. I'm a first-time founder myself. But I'm really optimistic about the progress we're going to be making. It'll be hard, obviously. It's not easy, as you know. But we're blessed that we have a team of 10. We have great engineers. I have a great partner. We have a community that's growing. We have 500 security executives and practitioners in the community. We have experts onboarded and opted in. So that's a great thing, too. Like, they actually want to work with vendors. So shameless plug here, sign up for the wait list, you know.
Do it.
Yeah, sign up for the wait list. Is going to be awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Follow the excitement.
And yeah, I'm gonna get some validation from you as somebody who sat in the seller seat, right? We're gonna head offline and take a look at the UI. I'd love to see what you think and get some initial feedback because we'll trade. I took a look at Cyft. Now you're going to take a look at CyberSynapse.
Sounds great.
We're heading towards the end of the session. I do want to know, are there any imparting thoughts that you want to provide for the audience today?
Work should be fun.
Yes.
If you're not having fun, switch it up. I think that's super important.
Yeah.
Sometimes I lose sight of that too. And I have to remember, like, I'm building a company with my friends.
Yes.
And we're helping people that we think are awesome. And so let's have a good time. Have conversations like these.
Come
work
on,
with great
audience
people.
first.
Yeah, I'm excited. And if you're an MSP and you use ConnectWise, check us out. Cyft.ai, CYFT.ai. We're building something that's pretty cool. So give it a look.
I love it. Before we actually sign off, I do want to ask, selfishly,
Sure.
You've been part of the audience first journey for 3+ years. You were an audience first client. What do you want to tell the audience about your experience? Like, how has this helped you? Just a little bit of a snippet or taste of how it's changed things for you for the better.
The way that I think about audience first is maybe different than most people because I don't necessarily look at the end deliverable as the thing that I'm paying for, but more so your brain and the years and years that you've put into getting to where you're at. Like, that's what I'm paying for. That's why, I mean, you pay a premium price for that, right? And so the thing that I think was most exciting was being able to tap into the network. Like, I'm paying for your years of trust and sacrifice that you've built to be able to access that as an outsider. And for you to be the local who walks me into the dive bar and is like, he's good, he's with me, right? Like, that's what I felt like I was paying for, and that was worth every single penny, because if I walked into that same dive bar, those CISOs and people would be like, who the fuck is this guy, right? Like, we don't know him. We're not going to talk to him. We don't trust him, right? Like, he's just trying to sell us stuff. Like, it just would have been so difficult to get the level of insights that we learned over this last like year and a half of us doing user interview. I mean, we've done so much work together. It would have been so much more difficult to do that. And I think this paying for speed is so important as a company, and understanding that your capital is only worth the leverage that it creates.
Mhm.
And I think audience first and working with you is such a massive accelerator to getting from we don't know shit to getting to these awesome insights that we can apply. And like, yes, the deliverable is great, but I'm not paying for the PDF as much as I'm paying for the speed to get to that. And that's where I think I saw the most value. And that comes from the years and years that you've put in, all of the content you create, the conversations you have, the trust, the credibility. That's what people are paying for. And it's worth every single penny.
I love it. That's super valuable for me. And I'd love to use that with your permission to share with some folks. So
Come on. Of course.
Incredible. You're always welcome to the show. Hit me up 3 months, come back again.
Oh, we'll be back. We're bringing Jeff Newton.
Yeah,
next time,
we got to
baby.
bring Jeff.
Tune in.
We got to bring Mark out. Man, that guy.
I talk about Mark every day, man.
He's just a rock star. We've worked together too, and I love that guy.
I think Kiro is so excited to
Yes.
hear that Mark was married, because I'm talking about this guy like he's the bee's knees, man. I just
your
love
bromance,
Mark,
man. You got your
Yeah.
work husband. I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
he's
2024.
amazing human being, man.
But again, yes, always welcome to the show. This has been incredible. I love how just fluid our conversations are. I mean, you're a gem, seriously. I love you, man. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for your team. I'm rooting for Cyft. Check out Cyft. Again, Cyft.ai, super cool product. This has been another episode of Audience First. We are out.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Audience First. If you like what you've heard, feel free to follow or subscribe to Audience First on Apple, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast streamers.